everybody. Today I'm going to review Bosch's GTL2 laser level. Now what's nice about this particular unit is the fact that it will project two different laser beams exactly 90 degrees apart from each other. And how I'm going to be using it is with this laminate flooring. The room that I'm in is in a basement of a townhouse, and whoever finished it off really did not do that good of a job. One wall is about 1.5 inches off from the other side of the room. Nothing is square in here, so it makes it laying hardwood floors extremely difficult. And most people would just go back and put carpet in here because it'll throw your eye off. If you put this in, then the lines are off. So what I'm actually going to do is find a true square in the center of the room. We're going to base that off of the hallway, so when you're walking into this room, everything's going to look true and correct, even though the walls are not aligned perfectly. So what I'm going to do now is show you how easy this is to operate, and then we're going to see it actually being used. Now let's say you don't want to use this for flooring installations, but instead you want to hang up artwork, maybe some fixtures or even picture frames on the wall, and you want to have them perfectly aligned. What we can easily do is just put this flat against the wall, turn it on, and it's instantly going to project a laser beam out. Now let's say you're working in a very large room, the laser beam actually does project out to 30 feet. So you'll be able to have a very accurate line down the entire length of the wall. What we're actually doing now is lining this up with the top of this key hook. We're taking a look at the bubble level and we can see that it's perfectly centered. That means that our laser line is also perfectly level across the entire room. We could mark other locations, hang up additional key hooks, hang up picture frames or anything else, and everything's going to be perfectly aligned because the line is stretching down the entire length of the wall. Now I turned the lights off in the room and turned the laser on, aligned it with the other side of the wall, but the reference point we're going off of is actually the entrance from the hallway into this room. I've perfectly aligned the laser so it looks exactly even if you're walking into the room. And what I want to do now is zoom in along the baseboard on this wall. I'm going to turn the lights back on. You're still going to be able to see the laser, but you're going to see exactly why I was not able to use the wall as the reference point, because the baseboard is extremely wavy. Here's a closer look at the laser beam passing that bowed out portion of the wall. And you can see that it is almost touching right here, but a foot in the other direction, it's about 1/4 inch off. And then where the laser is hitting the opposing wall, it's also 1/4 inch off. So this is bowed out, and if we had taken our laminate floor, pressed it against this baseboard, and tried to start our cuts based on that, the entire room would be thrown out of alignment. But because the laser is exactly straight, we can now mark that. That can be our reference point, not the actual wall, and everything will be aligned perfectly correctly throughout the entire room, and everything will be aligned with the hallway. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and mark this line, and we're going to take all of our future measurements based on that. So the easiest way to do this is to make two marks, one on this side, and then we're going to make another one about 1 foot over. We can then take a straight edge, line those two marks up that we just made, and then just connect the dots. This is going to give us a perfectly even line that is going to follow the path of the laser beam, and we'll be able to make our future reference points based on that. So what we'll do is go ahead, connect the dots now, and that line is going to follow directly down the center of the laser beam, and it's perfectly aligned with our doorway at this point. Okay, because the first board we actually need to rip down, which means cut long ways, what we actually want to do is go ahead and measure how far off from this doorway we want to go. Now the plank is about 7.5 inches wide. So to start out, I'm going to make the first plank at about 5 inches. That way it can wrap into the neighboring closet and it's not going to have any issues. So what we'll do is go ahead and just line this up with our mark that we made on the floor. We'll move this down to where the tape measure says 5 inches. And then what we'll do is go ahead and make a second mark. So just aligning everything correctly, what we can do is just make sure our laser beam is lined up perfectly with the line that we already made the first time. Now we're at about the 5 inch mark. I can go ahead and make two separate reference points at this point. I'll go ahead and make one right here. I'll move over a few inches, make a second one, and then taking that straight edge, we're able to make a second line, which is going to be exactly 90 degrees parallel to the first one that we just made. So we'll just go ahead and line these two marks up. We'll make sure the laser beam is shooting directly down the center of it, and then we'll be able to mark them both. So you can see the 2 points, they're perfectly lined up with the laser beam. We're going to take our black marker at this point, connect the dots, and now that line that we just made is going to be covered up with the laser. So this line's covered up with the laser, this line's now covered up with the laser, and they're exactly 90 degrees apart. So I can now mark this going down the wall, a few different locations, and that's going to be our reference point that we're going to start out with when we make our initial rip cut along this wall. So now you've seen Bosch's GTL2 laser for yourself. And because this does project two different laser beams exactly 90 degrees apart from each other, we were able to center the hardwood floor with the hallway. And even though the room is not square and the walls are about 2 inches off from one side to the other, that's not going to affect us. Everything is lined up perfectly, the floor is not buckling, and it's not separating. So I was able to get 6 rows down in about the last hour, hour and a half. I'll be able to finish the entire room tomorrow, and then this room is going to be ready to go. Now this does carry a 3-year warranty on it from Bosch, so if you ever do have a problem with it, they will fix that for you free of charge. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my channel, please click subscribe. And thanks for watching.